maid, and I was spoiled, and I was a little bit rebellious. I wanted to go back to school. I didn't want to walk the dog and clean the silver and do all that and be grateful for that. So I changed really homes quite frequently. I was also told that Nicky's mother, if you see his secretary, he's doing the passports and all that in that film, that's his mother who was working with him. So Nicky's mother apparently was the one who sometimes when we complained, the older children complained and we didn't like it, would find different homes for us. So I went from home to home. I will say that much about the English people. They shared during the war every ration that there was. I lived first in London. Then I went out. Went out of London because it was too dangerous. So I left mostly in the east, the southern part. I was at the school. It was a public school, which is a private boarding school for boys, and they had an annex for small children, but the parents were in the colonies. And I got a job there as a matron, cleaning, but it didn't matter. At least I think this is where I learned English. I then took a little course of steno and typing. I really picked up the language. I'm not one to read much. And I worked for the Air Transport Auxiliary for a little while as somewhere in the office. And the quota opened up. No, there was a chance to leave. That was 6 years later. A chance to leave England because the Czech quota was open. And I think my father and the brother here and my uncle gave me then the affidavit to come here. And so I left during the war, November '44, in a convoy. We were like about a dozen passengers. And it took us 21 days to cross the Atlantic. And there were depth charges going on all the time because the U-boats were flying around. So at night it was completely silent and we would just float. And in the morning we would all have to gather back together again to find each other and start the convoy off. The convoy was a banana boat. And I will say, I said that, by the way, I spoke last night to about 200 children, 200 people with the new film. So I was saying, I was on that boat, I was 19 at that point, and I decided I was not going to, I didn't know what I would live in the next day. That you never knew when you get, because some boats were torpedoed and did sink in the convoy. So when it would be my turn. And so I flirted with the crew. And I will say this much, that not one time did I ever get fresh, or was I ever had the feeling that happened to me with the American soldiers when I was in England, who were then coming in to go on to Europe, who were they very often pinned me against the wall. And I learned it early. Oh yes, well it's wartime, you know. So I will say the British, I had nothing, I really accepted to become a citizen. It's not the same as becoming an American citizen. You are a subject. And I would have all my life been, in a way, not really 100% British. Maybe it's changed now, but in those days, it was a different class. It was just, you know, you were not. So this is why my father wanted me to come to America, because he felt that there was a bigger opportunity to assimilate and to be myself. So did this answer your question about from there to now? Okay. And then was somebody there.
Yes, I don't know if you can answer this or not, but in some of the comments I read before I came here, it referred to the fact that some of the children went to Sweden.
Yes.
But the film we saw was only focused on Britain.
No, all right, very good. In the new film, by the way, the new film is, this is his third film on the subject. The first film is All My Loved Ones, fiction story. The second one is How Good. The third one is Nicky's Family. In Nicky's Family, he uses actors, and so he now Matti put in, apparently it's true, I have to be otherwise, that he had a spy, or he flirted with a woman, he befriended a woman, and she had worked for the Red Cross. and she took about a few children to Sweden, which were on his list. But he never heard from her again, and I don't think there's a follow-up on the children. Now, were they all Jewish? I don't know that either, because people said, well, everyone Jewish. He did not care. He did not specifically say, I am saving Jewish children. I'm saving children. And if you speak to him now, he said he wanted to give children a chance to survive. So I don't know if there's a record, if he kept a record, because the record, the 669, again, why there is no record